As you know, our party is, in ordinary words, is the best party in Uzbekistan. Did you learn the programs of other parties? If you are interested in parliamentary elections, so first you have to learn just to read a brief information about the new upcoming programs. Ecological party are already included in our party, you know what I mean? Fields are controlled by the government.
How do you intend to balance, for example, this tax burden?
It's going to make more than 10 million or 15 million people going to work in this country. So it means like 6 billion USD.
Hello from Tashkent. This is another podcast with a member of Uzbekistan Liberal Democratic Party. Iftixor Ziyoyev is a member of Tashkent City Council.
Yes.
And he got his BA from University of Wales. He's specialized in banking and finance. In addition to this degree, he got his graduate degree from Tashkent Financial Economic Institution. He is now working for Uzbekistan Liberal Democratic Party. Welcome to our podcast.
Thanks very much for your invitation.
So before starting our discussion, can you give a brief introduction about your party's goal for this upcoming parliamentary election? What are the main goals of the party, and what kind of tasks do you have for upcoming election?
First of all, as you know, our party consisted of the movement of the entrepreneurs and business people of the Liberal Democratic Party of Uzbekistan. So we have in this new parliamentary elections, we have 5 goals, main 5 goals, and 500 tasks. So first of all, one of them is economic growth. That's through sustainable economic growth, we'll achieve the well-being of every person, family, and society. Our second one is we'll provide quality of the education, medicine, and a strong social protection of the people. So the third one is we will create favorable environmental conditions for the population. And fourth one is we'll build a fair and modern state in the service of the people. And the last one is we guarantee the sovereignty and security of the country. That's the main 5 goals in our future parliamentary elections.
Iftixor, could you tell me, what's the difference between your party and other 4 parties? Because people tend to know, specific MPs, let's say, prominent previous MPs such as Donyar Ghaniyev, right? Or let's say Kusherbayev. But when it comes to understanding parties' goals, missions, they still don't know. What's the difference between UZLIDEP and other parties?
As you know, our party is, in ordinary words, is the best party in Uzbekistan because we have vast majority of the members' seats in the parliament. Most of the people, the business people are elected and are members of our party, and not only in economic ways. So we have the doctors, professors, so in agricultural people, so industrial people, in politicians. So in a variety of the types of the people are working and are members of our party.
Yeah, understandable. It's president's party, but yeah, I know. But when, for example, just imagine people coming to polling stations, they are seeing 5 parties, and especially in this mixed new form of election, like a mix, right? So they will be voting for 75 people who might be unknown, which means that they will be voting for parties. Let's say in my case, how do I know that your party is different from other parties? How can we differentiate among
May
them?
I give you one question? So
yeah, sure.
Did you learn the programs of other parties for this new upcoming?
Let's pretend that I didn't.
Yes.
How should I be? I'm looking at. I hope that there will be some agendas there. Will there be in polling stations? So some names, or let's say in campaigns, you will be spreading some information about your parties, what specific areas that people should be look at in differentiating your parties? Like,
if you are interested in parliamentary elections, so first you have to learn just to read a brief information about the new upcoming programs of each party. So when you read and when you look at the goals and the tasks of every party, so you will know the difference. Because, for example, when you look of the ecological party, so they have an aim to save our nature, water, agriculture, and this kind of field. So in our new program, we have such kind of tasks to do in agricultural ways, in nature, and the weather, everything. So we have it. So only one task of more than 10 tasks mainly look to this kind of fields. That's why ecological party are already included in our party. You know what I mean? And the other parties also like this. That's why. So our party, it has a very big circle of the problems and included, and they know it's already during 5 years. We know in what field and in what ways. So we made some mistakes, or we have some such as problems, or some structural agricultural problems. So that's why you have to read first all of the goals and achievements and the task of other parties, and then you know.
Let me push you a little bit more in this regard. So I still can see the difference. Let's say, when I say me, no, I don't mean me, but in general, people who will be voting for you, right? So, like, let's say, what's the difference in Millet Klanish also will be supporting business community, right? As you do. Like, when I wonder, what's the difference between your approaches? How would you differentiate between your parties?
A very good question, but in our party, we don't want to intervention of the state in our business. We want to limit the state intervention in the economy and create favorable business environments and the competition environment. So we want to cut off these rules. So it's most of the business, fields are controlled by the government. And we want some governmental companies to be sold to business, people. So now,
this is a good question. For example, I also studied economics. There is big debate when it comes to the role of state, right? Like on the one hand, there is libertarian economists or classical economists like Adam Smith who emphasize the role of market. So they say like state should not intervene in the economy. But at the same time, for example, if we look at Eastern models, for example, Japanese or South Korean economic model, they encourage the role of state.
Called like developmental state,
for
right?
the development state, a role of institutions. State was kind of intervening in certain aspects of the economy and supporting, encouraging certain companies. So we have new constitution, right? According to this constitution, Uzbekistan is not like liberal democratic country like Western European powers, right? We are mostly like welfare state. So in this case, how we are parties trying to keep balance between social programs and at the same time supporting local businesses or entrepreneurs.
As I said, we strictly want to prohibit the governmental role in economy. So we want privatization of the state properties, and not only for urban areas. In the cities. So we want in rural areas also. For example, farmers, agricultural fields. So as you know, we have really harvest management in agriculture. For the farmers, and price setting. They have, the price ceiling, price flooring. So they have price ceiling. So it means like you can't sell your, every product above this, measurement. So that's why we want to strictly prohibit it and take off these old kind of rules. And I think in future 5 years we'll achieve this. I mean, our aims and.
Yeah, I think this is also a good point. Like when you encourage, for example, local companies to compete on a equal basis, this will also bring some positive development, because when there is competition, it always brings like kind of economic growth and prosperity. But my question about taxation, for example, also people complain that the tax system of Uzbekistan is not just, because we if we see, for example, in some other developed countries, they have progressive tax, right? Like when you earn more, you need to pay more. But if you
we have flat tax rate, right?
Yeah,
do we call flat tax rate?
Like it doesn't matter whether you're rich or poor. Like it doesn't matter how much your income you're paying. Like everybody in Uzbekistan pays the similar price for state revenue. I don't think this is very ideal way to increase government revenue. I think there should be some reforms, for example, to make a tax system more progressive. My question is that how do you intend to balance, for example, this tax burden, in order to create more favorable conditions for local businesses and entrepreneurs?
That's one of our tasks. So we support a stable and simple and fair tax policy. I mean, we will work to simplify the tax administration. I mean, in the area of drastically reduce the impact of human factor on tax reporting as well. We propose to set the limit on the total income from the sale of goods to 5,000 times of the BCE for turnover taxpayers. I mean, and also we want to reduce the licensing also to 60 times. For example, previously our programs were also in taxation as well, and you reduce the licensing of the entrepreneurs. Beforehand. So if you want to sell, one bottle of the water, so you had to get some paperwork, and to get it, you have to lose, more than months. So now you don't have it, because we previous our programs, we did it. Now you can do whatever you want, and also now also it's a flat tax policy as well, and we also reduce from 20% of the VAT to 15 and now 12. And I think in future time, so we'll work on it. And as long as you reduce your tax system, to make it fair to people, so and new entrepreneurs and new business people and new shops, the business they're going to open is, because when you pay, when you earn, 1,000 USD, for example, a day or a month, so you have to pay now 12% of your VAT. If you reduce to 5%, for example, so you're gonna earn more money and you spend it, and we're gonna lose the hidden economy also. The government will achieve, will gain more tax than now.
I think this is also very interesting. For example, I know Turkish development model. When current political party in Turkey came to power, they started encouraging local small businesses. So they created more favorable condition for local businesses to conduct their activities and develop. Right now, Turkey is considered one of the developing country, but still it's member of OECD, this organization of industrialized economy. I think small business plays important role in the development of country. For example, if we analyze the case of our country, right? We were center of international trade historically, and I think we have apt for this trade. My question is that how are you do you have any specific program to develop, for example, to encourage small businesses, to maybe like we know like lots of people now coming back from Russia, like new migrants. Can we turn them into like entrepreneurs?
Of course, yes. So that's why we're working on banking system also. So I mean, to lend money to the small business activities as well. Recently, our government's making it, and our task is to make it our gross domestic product to 160 billion USD, and for per capita is 4,000. Our future 5 years aim. It means so. Now we're gonna make our entrepreneurs up to 3 million.
Mm-hmm.
It means so. In 3 million business companies, they're gonna work even. At least like 2 or 3 people, so it's gonna make more than 10 million or 15 million people gonna work in this country.
I understand that your party is trying to limit the government's influence in the economy, but how about this social policy? Let's say, what's the party's take on educational policy? Like, what's the difference between your party and other parties? I can give an example from Millet Klanish National Revival Party, who say that who will be mostly intervening in educational system in terms of educating teachers, like reviving the identity of people. Like, what's the policy of Uzlidep in educational policy?
So in our party, we want, as I said, in economy as well. So we want any, governmental intervention in this field also. For example, in kindergartens, we're going to start from the childhood, in the kindergarten. So we want to open more, non-governmental and private partnership, kindergartens, taking into consideration, last 5 years, for example, and now we've created, I think in Uzbekistan, thousands of these kindergartens, so, and thousands of the, private partnership or non-governmental schools and universities. 5 to 7 years ago, so we want to enter to the university, so it was very hard. You're going to lose your time. Now, so we have hundreds of the university in every city, not only in Tashkent. So it's very easy to become a student, but it's very hard to study, because that's the main thing. United States or United Kingdom or other European country or Japan, so very easy to get, to be a student now, but so you have to study. That's a quality. So our party, aim is quality education.
So it means that if, let's say, as a citizen, I vote for your party, I should expect, if your party gets majority, I should expect to observe the increase of private universities, private kindergartens. Is that correct?
That's correct, but not only numbers. That's a quality.
Okay.
So, for example, in medical universities. So when you're ill, you're going to take some medicine or something like that. So if it's like unqualified doctor, so what's going to happen? So you never know. That's why the quality is the main thing. So that's why taking into consideration parental opinions, the kindergarten, the main thing, main achievement from the young people, for the kid. For example, in my example, so I have a daughter, so they went into Inventor kindergarten. So she's now 8 years old. When she, left the kindergarten and go to the, Inventor school, so she already knew the English, so she knows better than me, English, so in 8 years. So they know math, they know chess, they can swim, they know everything.
But still, how about the price? It's not affordable to everyone, right? How about those people living in rural areas? What are they going to do? How are you going to improve the quality in public, let's say, kindergartens?
That's a good question. So in urban cities, for example, in Tashkent, the most expensive one is up to 500 or to 600 USD. But how about in the rural areas? It's up to 100 USD, because it's a supply and demand. in cities also, as you know, so it's a taxation also, the expenses, more expenses, and rural areas, so it's less expensive, as you know. That's why we are creating new job areas, I mean, opportunities for the employees, and we want to be more than 3 million entrepreneurs, from the governmental, I mean, from the budget and from the banks, through the banks. Through the banks, we want to create new business companies, I mean, entrepreneurs, and they're gonna make money.
So you mean that creating more opportunities for private companies creating this kind of kindergartens, it will provide some option for people. They either might choose private or they might go to public, right? Or even there is a variation among private kindergartens in terms of the quality and the price of it, right?
Of course. As I said beforehand, so we want to prohibit, I mean, governmental interference. I mean, it means so governmental kindergartens and schools will be given to private, I mean, private partnership or the non-governmental sector. They're going to give it to it. So in that rural areas will be not governmental, but I mean private organizations. So it will be also the the people, and I mean the government is going to control it also.
I think we can also draw some comparison. For example, in big cities, rent is expensive, and at the same time, there are other miscellaneous expenses. That's why the price of the schools are a little bit expensive from the rural areas. But at the same time, I think opening such kind of schools in the rural areas will encourage people to save up more and work harder and to promote or to provide their children. So this is about education. How about healthcare? What is your position, or what's your party's agenda when it comes to healthcare? Are you planning any reforms regarding healthcare?
So the healthcare, we want to increase the average life of our population up to 78 years. And now, so when you reach to 60, so you will think differently now. That's why we want to improve it. How? So that's the second question. So our main goal, set as one of the main goals, to increase the annual funds from the budget. That means by at least 2 times. So it means like 6 billion USD. In the future, I mean, next 5 years. So we can give to our people, I mean, good medicine, the quality of the medicine, and to take care of the elder people. I mean, taking them into, I mean, healthcare.
But here's the thing about this one. So, like raising budget in terms of in this medical healthcare system. But if I'm not mistaken, one of the like top spheres in terms of corruption engagement, they are medical system and education, right? Like, how are you going to, what's your party's agenda on decreasing or eliminating the corruption?
Well, now it's in the medical healthcare system, so we want radically, I mean, improve it. For example, as you know, in Uzbekistan, the medicine are free. So that's the main thing for the people, I mean. But we have one thing that we don't have a insurance, medical insurance, and digitalization as well. For example, you have to ring to the, I mean, first aid, I mean, 103. So you're gonna wait, and so they have limited personnel, or I mean, this kind of things. I mean, that's why we want to every person to get the medical insurance, as other countries worldwide. I mean, it's going to help for you. I mean, you're going to pay, for example, 100,000 sums, and you will gain 10 million sums in your return. But our people, they don't know it, because I've worked for the insurance company as well. So, and that time, so I told them, so we have to improve the medical insurance. It's going to help you. I mean, in one kind of fields. For dental or some eyesight, these kind of things. Except this one. So, in your normal conditions. So, our people, they don't go to the doctor even for years. I know the people who never go to the doctor for the last 10 years. But you have to check up, every 3 months or 6 months, or even in once in a year.
But normally Uzbeks go to doctor when they're dying,
yes.
right?
That's why when you have the insurance, medical insurance, that's, free. Free. Every 3 months you go them, you take some medicine or some kind of, illness, so you're going to remove it from your body. And digitalization. So in not only in medicine, so in other fields as well. In transportation, or some food and agricultural systems, medicine, educational. So now we have it, but I think like 50 to 60%. But the other 40% we have to fill up it. In future next 5 years.
Let's move to concluding question. You talked about this economic, social issues. How about foreign policy? What is the position of the political your parties regarding foreign policy of Uzbekistan?
Export volume. So we want to reach to 45 billion USD. In future next 5 years. Our aim also. And we'll be leading force to accelerating the realization of the idea of new Uzbekistan and the country of competitive products. What it means, because we want to create special export zones. For example, in our region, now we have created also, Uzbekistan. In Uzbekistan, created free zone in Termez, for example, with Afghan borders for Uzbek people, because it's this area located in Uzbekistan. So our, entrepreneurs, the product producing companies, food, beverages, or agricultural products and textiles, so they can sell easily in this border. Not going into the Afghan area. So now the Afghan people are coming to buy the shops, everything. It means so the money is coming, direct investment is coming through this only one area. So we have to expand these areas more. We have to expand it and create it in every region.
Thank you for sharing your thoughts and participating in our podcast. It was a wonderful discussion.
Thanks very much for the invitation.
Thank you.
Thank you.